Hello everybody. It is Friday, the 6th of May. I want to talk about the veil. The veil is the law, and the law is being created. We are creating the law. And how this is affecting us and why it must change. Which again, the New Testament actually showed you the existence of the veil. That's one. If you read the story, you should become aware of the veil, which I don't think Jesus was aware of it being there. So that is something that New Testament should teach us, that the veil exists and we must understand what it is and how it operates, and that we can rewrite the law because we created it in the first place. So, but before I go there, let me just quickly talk about meditation, because I'm being urged and go into meditation and everything will be all right. No, it won't. Not as long as the veil exists in its incorrect form. So it is true that when your mind is quiet, that clarity will come to you. I do not do that the way of meditation. Usually for me that happens during the night, which is why I make these videos first thing in the morning, and yes, before the monkey brain gets a hold of what I learned during the night. Absolutely. But it is a conscious act, and you cannot be in meditation forever. Yeah? It is something you do for a period of time, and then you must go back into real life. And does the clarity that you gain during meditation stay with you during the day? Most of the time it does not, unless we rewrite the veil. And again, that is new knowledge, new awareness, that you are working in an old program. Again, that is, you're trying to put new wine into an old skin, and it will not work unless you have rewritten the whole thing completely. It will come to awareness and then it will die during the day. The other thing is that people went into meditation, and that is recorded. Where groups of people went into meditation not just to let go completely, but to a purpose. That is to create in themselves a feeling of peace, and love to all man. And it was measured that when a large group of people did that in a city, the violence in the city actually went down during that period of time, and it was measurable. Problem is, once they got out of meditation, the whole thing went back. It was just stemming a tide. The energy was stemming a tide, but the tide just came back whenever they had finished. So those are not permanent solutions, as long as we are running a program that goes against that. And we are running that program unconsciously, and that is the big problem. And this is, as I said, Jesus was not aware of the veil. Because let's say, the problem is that we can only be in awareness for so long during the day. You can only think consciously for so long during the day. I'm pushing the boundaries. The problem is that thinking is taking up an awful lot of energy. And that energy should flow somewhere else in your body. During the day, the whole machinery has to be sustained. And if you think all the time, you're using up the energy that should be used somewhere else. So it's not healthy for you to be in this state. And I'm very much aware of that all the time. So then what we do is, for 90% of the day, we run on the subconscious. We do actually no longer think, unless you make yourself think. Naturally, you would go into the state of not thinking and running on the subconscious for long periods of time during the day, which means you preserve the energy that you're using for thinking, and it goes to the rest of the body and you can do things. Jesus was in that state. I do not think for myself. I'm running on the subconscious. That's what he did. And yes, the knowledge, because the subconscious is a bottomless pit of knowledge, yeah? And he brings up knowledge to you that you're then running on in this unconscious state. The problem is, as I say, it's a bottomless pit, and there's probably knowledge in there even from lifetimes, not just yours. Yeah? I mean, from this lifetime, but from previous lifetimes, there could be God knows what in there. The problem is the subconscious is there to serve you during those times when you don't think. And that's what Jesus did. He did not think and let the subconscious serve him. The problem is the subconscious cannot indiscriminately bring up all the information that is in it. I mean, you're going around not thinking, and the subconscious tells you do this, do that, indiscriminately. You know, you would probably behave in a very strange manner if that were to happen. So it needs to be regulated by something, and that is the law. That is the veil. And the veil is the law of do and don't. Do this, don't do that, which the knowledge is filtered through that when you're not thinking. So it is not that you're wandering around doing the strangest things, but it's very coordinated what you're doing in that state, and that is because of the veil, the law of do and don't, through which the knowledge must rise. And that is what Jesus was not aware of. He was not aware of the veil, and it did not rip for him until he was on the cross. That's when he became aware, when it ripped. And I think his last words were very resigned, you know, like, it's done, too late now. I think that's what he was saying. It's over, done it, you know. So we should be aware, and we should work this thing somehow before it's too late. But that is what that story is trying to teach us, that the veil is there. And that is the law, and the law will always be there. And there must be a law there for the subconscious to function correctly. So what is creating the law? And the law is created through our story. See, do and don't was created by the story that they were in, that there is a God ruling over them, yeah, and you must serve him, and he has a certain intention, and you must do certain things. And as I said, if you're a Jew, you have 600 and something things, hoops that you need to jump through. That is what is creating the veil. And as I said, even in the 90% of the time when you're not thinking, your subconscious knowledge goes through that when you're on autopilot. So, and that is, we must, out of seeing ourselves in a different way, we must create new laws, and we must consciously work on those laws. Yeah? We must consciously work on how we should see this world, so that the veil becomes permanent, to make it permanent. But again, at the moment, they're doing it. You know, people have understood that. And they're saying, you know, I'll just put something on there like, oh, I am all powerful. Or I'm going to have a car. Or I'm going to have a great relationship. But if you do that, I think, at the moment, you only put, again, a patch onto an old coat. Yeah? And will that patch hold? Or will the underlying program be so powerful in the end that it will blow the patch away? I think quite often that happens. We're trying, but the old program keeps rising up, and it's destroying our, you know, our patches. of what we want. So that is where our work must be. We must see that the New Testament made us aware of the law. And through what happened in that story, we must understand that he went into this state that we are in 90% of the day, and we must be in, to conserve energy or put the energy somewhere else. And that during that time we're not only running on the knowledge of the subconscious, but that subconscious is going through a law by it says do and don't. And it's that law that we must rewrite. Absolutely must rewrite, and then only then will the world as a whole become different. Because we are unconscious most of the time, and even now the veil has become that strong that people, even if they are in a conscious state, and they should be in a state where they can discern, or should be able to discern, they're still running on the subconscious program. They don't wake up at all. So that is where our work must be. And it is no good bringing in new knowledge through meditation if 90% of the time you're running on an old program. So, and it's not, just don't think and everything will be fine. The New Testament showed you exactly that that is not going to happen. Don't think and everything will be fine is wrong. That is what the New Testament showed you. Become aware that there is a veil there, a law. We've written that law through our understanding of ourselves and what we're in, and the idea of this God and all the laws that we must follow to please him. That is what has created our veil. And then if we are in a new state, seeing ourselves differently, there must be new laws. And then when we go unconscious for those 90% of the time, we can do so in safety. Right now, we are not safe during that day, during that time, because the laws that our subconscious goes through do not serve us. They serve something else. The laws that must be there must serve us. So we're safe during that time. And that is where our work must be. But first of all, we must become conscious that that is what's happening. We must become conscious of how to rewrite those laws. And I think then it is still a period of time where we must remind ourselves over and over and over again until this new law becomes permanent, a permanent fixture. And then we can become unconscious again, and we will run according to our own laws. And we cannot be controlled by laws that have been put there by something else. Anyway, I leave it at that, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.